Okay, so today we'll be starting our next topic, quality notifications. Okay, so the topics we'll be covering in quality notifications. We'll see quality notifications overview. What are the different types of notifications we have it in the system? Okay, how the quality notification process flow is there. Okay, how the structure of a quality notification looks like. Okay, what are catalogs, what are catalog profile, what is catalog profile, how it is used in quality notifications. Then we'll see how to create the quality notification in the system, how to process the quality notification. Then we'll see defects recording, how to record the defects in case of failures, and then how to create the quality notification during the defect recording itself. So these are the topics we'll be covering today in quality notifications. Okay, so let's start. So what are quality notifications? So SAP QM quality notification contains functions for capturing and processing different types of problems or defects which are identified during inspection. So when we are doing the quality inspection activity, if you find any defect, that means any rejection, okay, then those you process using these quality notifications. If everything is okay, good, fine. But if your results are not meeting your specification, not within the specifications, then that is a defect. So that defect processing, that you do through these quality notifications. Okay, so basically quality notifications normally you will be using in case of problems or defects. Okay, so like defects resulting from poor quality goods. Okay, so quality notifications are used to analyze the recorded defects and perform root cause analysis of this problem. So basically, using with quality notifications, what you do is why the defect has occurred. Okay, what is the problem, what was the problem, what is the root cause, and what is the corrective action you are going to take, and what is a preventive action you are going to take. That you identify with this quality notification. So basically, you might be heard of the words kappa. Okay, in the quality control laboratories, you might have heard the word kappa. That means whenever there is a problem, what they do is they do corrective action. Okay, and then they identify what is a preventive action we are going to take. Preventive action. Okay, corrective action and preventive action, nothing but kappa. Okay, let's say I'll tell you one scenario. You received a material from a vendor. Let's say material is X. Okay, material is X, and let's say the vendor is A. Now you received the material X from this vendor A. You received 100 liter of the solution, let's say. Now you are inspecting it. Now pH value you are checking, let's say. Okay, the pH limits are, let's say, 1 to 14. Lower limit is 1, upper limit is 40. Okay, so now you inspected the material. Now you find the pH value as 50. That means the material is failing. Now with that particular lot, let's say this is a batch 100 liter, you see it. Now what you are going to do with this 100 liter? First, initial corrective action, what you are going to do. Okay, whether you are returning to the vendor or whether you are destroying it, or what you are going to do, the corrective action. Okay, first thing, or you are going to inform the vendor, or you are going to discontinue the vendor. That's what corrective action. Now the preventive action, that means in future, to avoid these kind of issues again, what preventive actions you are going to take. Okay, so are you are discontinuing the vendor, okay, or you are not paying the vendor, or you are paying less price, or what you are going to do. So those kind of actions are documented in the system using these quality notifications. Okay, so what corrective actions, what preventive action. So you identify the first problem, what is the problem, why the problem has occurred. Now what for that particular problem, what corrective action you are going to take, and at the same time in future, to that problem not to repeat again, what preventive actions you are going to take. All these are documented in quality notifications. Okay, its quality notification is basically a documentation of a particular problem. what is the problem, what is the root cause, what is the root cause for that problem, then what activities you are going to take, corrective and prevention. Those are documented in the quality notifications. Okay, normally in the SAP system there are three types of notifications are available. One is customer complaint, customer notification. So the customer gives you the market complaint, okay, then that notification. Then complaint against a vendor, the one which I just explained. Okay, you receive a material from a vendor, you found that to be defective, then what you are going to do, complaint against vendor. And the other one is our production notification. Okay, when you are producing a product in your in-house, you as a quality guy, you will be checking those materials. So if you have a problem, then what you are going to do, that is called internal problem report. That is nothing but production notification. Okay, so apart from the standard notifications, in addition to the standard notification types, you can also define your own user specific notification type. So you can create custom notification types as per your requirement. Okay, standard SAP comes with these notifications, but if apart from these, if you want any new notification type, you can create. Just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, so this is how the notifications works in the SAP system. So basically these are the ones, these are the types of notifications we have it in the system. Okay, one is customer complaint. Okay, your customer complained that your product is not good. Okay, so with that you will be creating a notification. Now another one is you receive the materials from the vendor. Okay, and when the material is inspected, you identify a problem. So then that you will be creating a customer complaint against a vendor. That notification you will create. And one more thing is your internal problem notification. That means your organization will be producing some products. So when you inspect those problems, then you will, if you have any problem, then you will use to create a notification. So notifications normally comes from these areas into the quality department. So you will be creating accordingly the quality notifications. Okay, so this is the why the notifications have to be created first. So the notifications are created for finding these things. One is you identify the problem, you describe the problem, what is the problem, and then you analyze it. So what type of defect it is, what is the cause for that problem, you analyze it, and then you find a solution for it. What you are going to do, what corrective action, what preventive action you are going to do, and then for that what tasks you are going to perform. So these are documented with quality notifications. It's basically for the continuous improvement. Whenever the problem occurs, you identify the problem, you describe the problem, you analyze it, and then you find a solution for it, and then you implement the tasks. So all these things are documented in the quality notifications. Okay, so this is a best example for a quality notification. So your customer gives a complaint. Your customer gives a complaint. Using that complaint, you will create a quality notification. Okay, in the quality notification, you enter all the data. What is the problem? What is the description? What is a defect? What could be the cause? What tasks? Okay, what activities you are going to perform? All those things you will enter in the quality notification, and then your notification is saved, and then that notification is processed by concerned department. Okay, and then finally you will be closing the notification once all the activities are completed. This is the basic process flow of a quality notification. Okay, so before going into the creation of quality notifications, we need to understand some terminology. Okay, so quality notifications are not only used in QM module, they are used in a lot of other applications of the SAP system, like plant maintenance, okay, customer service. Okay, so those are the areas these notifications are used. So basically notification category will tells you in which particular application you are going to use this notification. So for us, all quality notifications are created with notification category Q2. Okay, notification category is Q2. Okay, now the next one is notification origin. Notification origin will tell you, defines the business context in which the notification is used, because of which application, which area you are getting the notification. So for customer complaints, the notification origin is Q1, complaint against vendor, it is Q2, and the internal problem notification, it is Q3. Okay, then the notification type. Notification types determines the origin, content, and other properties of notification. That means it defines the layout, what data you are going to maintain, what is the content you are going to enter in the notification. All those are determined by the notification type. So you have three. One is notification category. Basically, notification category will tell you in which module you are going to use, PP, QM, PM, customer service, in which module. Notification origin will tell you because of which business function you are going to get this notification. Okay, and then notification type basically defines a layout and content, what data you are going to maintain, what fields you are going to maintain, that is determined by notification type. So if you see this picture, you will be able to understand. Sorry, it is not Q2, it is 02. Sorry, it is 02. Notification category is 02. Okay, so now this picture will give you a brief overall idea. Okay, so notification category for quality notifications are, it is Q02. Okay, now under that you have three types of origins. Okay, now for each origin you can create as per your requirement different notification types. So whenever you are creating a notification, you need to assign a notification type. Okay, so from this notification type, it will pick the origin, and from the origin you will be getting the notification category. So these will get picked up automatically. So in the notification type, you will be assigning all these things in the configuration. When we go to configuration, I'll show you that. Okay, so now quality notifications we can create in the entire supply chain cycle, as we discussed earlier. Okay, in the procurement process we can create notification. I'm recording it, Amitesh. I'll send the recorded video, don't worry. You're anyhow missed from the beginning, right? Yeah.
No, I was here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm recording anyhow. I'll send the recorded video, don't worry. Okay, so in the procurement process you can create the notification. And in the production, when you are producing the product, you can create the notification if it is an internal problem. And when your customer gives the complaint on the product which you sold outside, so there also you can create the notification. So the notifications can be created in the entire supply chain cycle. Okay, right from procurement to the sales. So this is the structure of a notification. Okay, so in the structure of the notification, you will maintain all this data. Okay, so what is the item, what is the issue, what activities have to be performed, okay, who is the responsible partners, all those things you will maintain in the partners, and what immediate tasks you are going to perform, and then what tasks actually you performed, and what was the causes, and then what activities you performed finally. So those things you will be maintaining in the quality notification. This is how the structure of a quality notification looks like. Okay, so now quality notifications can be created. One is manually, you can create manually, and one more thing is you can trigger automatically. The trigger of automatically we'll discuss later. First you can create it manually. Okay, so there are two methods. Okay, one is manual, okay, and the other one is automatic. Okay, so we will start creating the manual in a manual method. Okay, so the transaction code is QM0. Using this transaction code, you will be creating the quality notification manually. Okay, so let's start creating the quality notification. let me log on to this system. Okay, so I'll show you through navigation path. Go to logistics, quality management, okay, quality notification, okay, create. The transaction code is QM01. Change QM02 and it displays QM03. Okay, so these are the transaction codes. Okay, so I'll start creating the quality notification. So whenever you are creating a notification, you should assign a notification type. Okay, so I'll select from the list. I'll be using a Q2 notification, complaint against a vendor. So I'm using this. Okay, don't enter the notification number. System will assign the number. Okay, click on enter. Okay, so once on the initial screen, it will ask for which document, for which purchase order, or for which material document against which you received the material. It is asking to enter the data. So and then material document year. So enter the year 2016, and I'm taking the purchase order which is already there in the system. So the purchase order I'm entering. Okay, so this purchase order will contain all the data. Suppose if I go to the purchase order, okay, so this is the material. So this is the material, okay, and this is a quantity, and this is he is a vendor. So from this vendor I received this material and I found some issue. Okay, so now I'm creating a notification. So that purchase order number I'm entering. Enter, just click on continue. Okay, so you will be getting this screen. See, create notification, complaint against vendor. Okay, so here your purchase order document number has come, your material document here has come. Now here you will enter the data. Okay, and system has picked up purchasing organization, purchasing group from the purchasing document. Now you enter the material, and you enter the plant. Whatever the data available, those data you can enter over here. Okay, whatever the data you have, you can enter over here. If you know the batch number, all those data you can enter over here. Okay, now how to configure the screens? There are tabs, right? If you see reference objects, subject, there are tabs: processing, items, okay, tasks and activities. These are the tabs you have over here. So these tabs can be configured, designed as per our requirement. Okay, in this quality notification type. So first we'll understand the front end part, how to process the notification. Then we'll see how to analyze, how to design this layout and all. We'll analyze in the configuration part. Okay, so now you enter the data, and then first you go to subject. So the person, whoever is creating the notification, he entered the subject. So first where it is failing. So just I'll take from the list. Okay, I'll take from the list. So these are the list catalogs available. Try to recollect our catalog classes. So there you will be maintaining some catalogs. So these catalogs will appear over here. Okay, so now from here you will be selecting the list. Okay, so let's select ones. Vendor ones are there. Notification. So okay, I'll select this one. Okay, so this is the one, good receipt area. So I'll enter that, failure mode. Okay, material, let's say failing in pH value. Okay, so this is my issue. Material is failing in pH value. So take that, and you can write, if you want to write the issue in detail, you can enter that in the description over that long text box. Material failing in pH value and value found to be found to be exceeding the upper limit. So like this you can describe the entire your issue over here in the long text. Now here you can enter the quantities. So what is the entire complaint quantity? Let's say it is 100 liter. Okay, you enter it. So other data, if you want to enter, you can enter there. For how much quantity you are going to return, all those things you can enter over here. And if you want to assign any documents, you can assign the documents over here. Okay, so enter. So now the initial person who is going to create the notification, okay, so he entered the main problem and then he saved the notification. Okay, so when you save the notification number, system will be assigning the notification number. In our case, the notification number is 656. So if you go to change mode, the notification number is 656. I'll note down here. Our notification number is 656. Okay. Now, when you are creating the notification, so if you see here failure mode, you are getting some values through catalogs. So why these catalogs are used? What is the use of them? Those things we'll understand. So basically, using these catalogs to process quality notifications efficiently, it is often advisable to categorize the problem areas according to their content codes. This will allow you to process problems quickly and easily. So instead of entering each and everything manual, what you can do is you can standardize your information using these catalogs. So in the catalogs you
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, tell me.
Savan, so this I can use this for materials even without having QM view, right? Because if I don't want to create a notification inspection log, but I want to have a small control to check if there was any issue, even in the materials we don't have, we can use this, right?
Yes, you can use this, yes.
And purchase order numbers are a mandatory field?
The fields which are mandatory, non-mandatory, again we can configure as per our requirement.
Okay, fine.
So now, so basically what you are doing is using these catalogs, you are standardizing your information. Okay, instead of user entering whatever they want, you will give some predefined options. From there, your user will be selecting the data. Okay, so basically we can use the catalog and catalog profile functions to set the system so that an appropriate selection of defect description is displayed dependent on the contents of the problem. So you have a predefined selection list, from that user will be selecting. So here if you see, you have a predefined list over here. From this user we will be able to select. Instead of entering manually over here, user can select from the list. So that is the use of catalogs, and you will club all these catalogs into a catalog profile. We'll discuss this. Okay. So now here, before discussing into catalogs, we have to discuss codes, code groups, catalogs, and catalog types. So code is nothing but description of a defect or a cause. So if you go to again our screen, we discussed these things already, but anyhow I'll show you again. Suppose if you go to here, QM description, these are the codes. This is a code. Okay, these codes tell you what is a problem, what is a defect. Okay, now these ones are clubbed into a code group. So here the QM is a code group. Okay, so grouping of codes according to content. So code group is nothing but a combination of group of codes. Okay, now catalog. What is catalog? You use catalogs to manage, uniformly define and standardize information. So basically in the catalogs you maintain these codes and code groups. Okay, so this is the catalog. Okay, now catalog type. Catalog types tells you what type of catalog it is. Summary of code groups according to their contents. If you recollect your previous classes, when we are doing the results recording, we were for qualitative characteristic, we were entering some colors, blue, green, yellow. So those are characteristic attribute. Here our catalog type is defects. What type of defect it is? Failure mode or what type of defect is. So these comes under the catalog type defects. Okay. Now during the quality notification, what type of catalog types you are going to use? So during the quality notifications, you are going to use these catalog types. Okay. One is the defect coding, which I have shown you already. Then when you are going to process the quality notification, we will see defect type, defect location, causes, tasks and activities. So these are the catalog types we are going to use during the quality notifications. Now all these catalog types will be clubbed into a catalog profile. They will be clubbed into a catalog profile. See, if you observe carefully here, so these catalog types, see, defect types, it is having a code 9, causes, it is having 5, okay, tasks 2, activities 8, defect location E, service code Z. So all these things you will be clubbing into a catalog profile. Okay, then finally this catalog profile you can assign to the quality notification type. So first you create all code groups in the catalogs, okay, and then that you will assign to a catalog profile, Finally you assign this catalog profile to your notification type. That is how you design in the system. Okay, we will see all these things in the system. Okay, so now finally this catalog profile can be entered at 3 places. This catalog profile can be entered either in the material master quality management view, or in the notification type in the configuration, or for defects recording it will be entered in the report type. Okay, we'll discuss during the defect recording. So now catalog profile can be entered in the material master QM view, I'll show that, and then otherwise in the quality notification Q1. So this will have the first priority. System will go and check for here, and if it is not maintained over here, then it will go and check for in the notification type. This is the order of priority. Okay, so I'll show you that. So if you go to the material master /n mm02, go to quality management view, plant is 1000. So here you can maintain the catalog profile. Okay, here you can maintain. Okay, this is one area where you can maintain. If you are not maintaining there, you need to maintain in the notification type. So if you go to the configuration SPR, SAP reference IMG, okay, currently for this material it is not maintained in the material master, so it is maintained in the configuration in the notification type. So go to quality management, go to quality notifications, okay, overview of notification type, you go there. Okay, so what is our notification type? It is Q2. It is Q2. So go to the notification type, select the notification type. Here you are able to see catalogs and catalog profiles. There is a folder called catalogs and catalog profiles on the left side. If you click on that, see, you are able to see this is the catalog profile maintained. In this catalog profile, all these codes are maintained. Coding, problems, causes, tasks, activities, objects part, which I have shown you. These ones. These catalogs are maintained, and they are assigned to a catalog profile. Now I'll show you where this catalog profile is actually maintained. So if you take this catalog profile, you go back, so go to notification processing, notification creation, notification content. Okay, here you are able to see define catalog profile. Okay, so in the catalog profile you will assign over there. So if you go to the define catalog profile, okay, what is the catalog profile we were using? This one, 0001, the first one, of course, the first one. So if you go to that catalog profile, if you click on the left side, there is a folder catalogs and code groups. See, all are maintained. Whatever the code groups maintained with these catalogs, everything is coming over here. That's why they maintained star. Instead of maintaining particular one code group, they maintain star. That is why here you are getting everything. All you are getting. You are getting everything. That is what. Suppose if you see one more catalog profile, if you see this one, 1000_QM, if you click on that, here also all star maintained. Just 1 minute. If you see few messages, if you take this catalog profile, here also star maintained. All are maintained with star. Just 1 minute. Here if you see, for this catalog profile, for this catalog type 2 means what? 2 means task. So we have maintained the code group. We have maintained the code group as QM-S3. So if you go to that code group, so if you go to the catalog, what is a catalog type? Catalog type is 2. So enter 2. And what is a code group? What is a code group? This is a code group. So if you take that code group, so in this code group, what are the codes maintained? So these are the ones maintained. So if you use that catalog profile, only these will be visible to the user over here. For the user, only these will be visible. These will be visible, not all. So that's what that's how the data gets picked up into the quality notification. So this is how you do. So you create catalogs. In the catalogs, you maintain all the codes and code groups. Ultimately, these all catalogs are assigned to a catalog profile, and this catalog profile will be assigned either in the material master or in the notification type. Okay. So first priority, system will go check for the material. If it is maintained over there, it will pick from there. If it is not maintained over there, then system will go and search for the notification type. If you maintain at two places, the order of priority, system will give the priority to the one which you maintain in the material. Okay. So this is how your catalogs. See, this is a coding. You dented, wrapped. This is a problem coding. So this you will club into a catalog type coding. So you have different catalog types. So once we process the notification type, you will be able to understand. Okay. So this is the one. While determining the catalog profile, as I said earlier, system will first give the priority to the catalog profile maintained in the material. First priority 1. So if it is not maintained over there, then system will go and search in the catalog profile in the notification type, which I have shown you already. Second priority. Accordingly, in the quality notification, the codes and code groups will appear. Okay. So now we'll process the notification. So we created the notification. Now we will record all the activities, all the tasks you are going to do. Everything will process. We are here now. We just created the notification. Then we'll process the notification and we'll record activities, all problems, implement tasks, and finally we'll close the notification. Finally. Okay. So these activities will do. So let's go to the notification. I think it might have got disconnected. Okay. So this is the notification. Now once the notification is created, you go to change mode. Okay. So the user who created the notification, he entered the problem. Okay. Now the coordinator will take over. What he do is he will assign the priority over here. So whether it is a very high one, high, medium, low, that he will assign over here. So let's say the moment he enter the priority very high, you see what will happen. Okay. Now priority is, it's only 2 days. Okay. Now the moment I assign the priority high, okay, wait, let me change the dates. Still system date is 17th. Accordingly, the dates are getting changed. So this, according to priority, you will define the duration. Accordingly, it will get changed. Suppose if I change it to low. Okay, so the required end date is getting changed all the time. Required start date and required end date is getting changed. Okay, suppose if I use very high, now you see what will happen. See, the date is getting changed to 20th. That means you have to complete in only 1 day. Suppose if you use high, see, the date is getting changed to 21. So according to the priority, your required end date will get changed. Again, these priorities are defined in the configuration. So if you go to the configuration, you go to the response control, there are defined priorities are there. So if you go to the defined priorities, first you will be assigning a priority type to our notification type. So if you go to our notification type, it is Q2. So for our Q2 notification type, there is a priority type is assigned, that is QM. Okay, now take this priority type QM. So now in that priority type, what is our priority type? QM. So if you go to QM, what are the priorities assigned? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very high, high, medium, low. So these are the priorities. That is why you are getting displayed over here. So those 4 are getting displayed over here. And now for each priority, there is a duration assigned. Very high, it is 1 day. This is maintained in 1 day. Okay. For high, it is 2 days. For medium, it is 3 days. For low, it is 5 days. That is why accordingly it will assign the dates. Suppose if I change it to low, now you see start date is 19th, but low, because of it is a priority is low, the required end date will become after 5 days. So now I'm entering. See, now it has become 26th. Okay, so you should understand from where the dates are picked in. So the coordinator who is coordinating this notification, what it does is he will assign the priority over here. Let's say I will go ahead with the priority high. Okay, see, now the date has got changed. Start date is okay, but required end date getting changed according to the priority and based on the number of days we define over here in the configuration. Okay, so now he enters the priority. Okay, now here he assigned the department responsible. Now who is going to work on this notification? He will enter that over here. Okay, I'll enter some name over here. Okay, so I'll enter some department over here. Okay, so he entered the department responsible, and then what he will do is he will put this notification in process. In process, there is a flag button is there that he will put it in the in process. So the notification status will get changed in process. Now he will save the notification. Okay, now the person who is going to manage, who is going to work on this notification, he will take over and he will start working on it. So now he goes here, he will see the subject. Okay, so this is the problem. This is the problem. Now he'll start processing it. He will go to the processing. He will see when it has to be completed, all those data he will see. Then he will start working on it. So he will go to item tab. Item tab. Here he will write the overview. So now he will select from the list overview code group. Now again all your catalogs are appearing. Where is a defect location? Okay, if there is a defect is there, where is a defect? So he enter the location. Okay, so unknown, suppose this is a material, right? Liquid material, right? So there is a top, bottom, whatever you want you can enter over here. So I'll enter the location internal. Okay, internal, and then code group. This is the defect type. So you enter it. Okay, defect type. What is a defect type? So let me enter defect type as QM here. Let me take. Let me enter material defect type. Material defect. You enter that. Okay. Now go to cause. So he identify the cause. Why the material has got failed. Okay. So he enter the cause over here. Okay. So these causes will come from your code groups, codes and code groups. Okay, so you enter the cause. I'll enter one of the causes. QM problem causes. Okay, so I'll enter, let's say, material related problem. Enter. You can write some long text over if you want. You can write it over here. Then go to task. So what task you are going to recommend? What task you are going to recommend? So the task we are going to recommend, you will enter over here. Okay. So corrective tasks, or let us enter vendor related ones. General tasks for complaints to the vendors. So what task we are going to do? So we are going to return the material, return delivery. Okay, enter that one. If you have more than one task, you can enter over here. That means what I am suggesting is I am telling the concerned department, you please return the stock to the vendor as it is getting failed. Okay. Now one more task is corrective tasks, vendors. Just 1 minute here. So I am suggesting correction and procurement. I am suggesting them that you need to change the vendor. So these kind of things I am suggesting. So now you need to release, select the task, you need to release this task. Okay, so release the task is released. Okay, now what are the activities we are going to do? That also you can suggest. Okay, so now here you can enter vendor. First you give a special complaint against a vendor. That activities you can suggest over here. Once all these activities have been suggested, now the person who is going to implement this notification, he will enter whatever the activities he has done, tasks he has done. Okay, so here he goes to the task tab. Okay, so what task finally he performed? The corrective task he has done. Okay, we have done the return delivery. Okay, and then we completed the other tasks, if any, he has entered. Okay, so we have correction and procurement we have done, so that you can enter. Okay, so you can write some replace the vendor, you can write some task over here. Okay, so once all tasks have been done, you select the task, you release it. Okay, not a problem. Okay, and then finally these tasks are completed, select the task and you say that these tasks are completed. Okay, so that means these tasks have been completed, and you can write whatever the activities you have done exactly, and what the activities you have done, and what is the start date and end date, on which date you started the activity, on which date you ended these activities, you can write it over here. So all the data comes from catalogs. So here, so when we do the information to the inventory management department has been done, and then at the same time we inform to the vendor that we are discontinuing the vendor. So information to the vendor. So, and you can enter the start date and end date. If you want to write more text, you can write it in this long text. Okay, so once all this done, again the information goes to the coordinator. The coordinator will take over again, and he will come to the items again, and he will close these items, tasks. So return delivery and correction and procurement has been done. So he will select these options, task. So this task has been completed, and he will click on the button completed. That means these tasks have been completed. These are the tasks he suggested. Now the department which has to execute this notification, they have completed those tasks. So they'll select this and they'll click on this completed button. Okay, enter. Now once all the activities have been done, they will be closing the notification. This is the one. The last activity will be completing the notification, closing the notification basically. So you click on this button, complete. Okay, so completion date and time will come. If you want to change this, you can change this, and then you click on continue button. So your notification will get closed. Okay, so if you go to the display, you'll be able to see notification is closed. Notification completed, all tasks completed, and notification completed. So this is how you process the notification in the system. So basically you will be entering all the preventive actions, all the corrective actions, all the tasks you have executed, all those things you will enter in these tabs. That's what. So in future, whenever you want to refer what material got failed, then what activities, what preventive, what corrective actions you have done, all those things you can refer. You can come over here and you can refer in the notification. Okay, so this is how you process the notification. So now we'll see when we go to the configuration.
Savan, I have one doubt here.
Who is this?
So when
who is this?
Renald, this is Renald.
Renald, yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Okay, so when the QM coordinator is creating the notification, that time in items tab, he'll put the item, he'll put the tasks and activities.
Yes,
correct, no?
Yes.
Then he'll save it,
yes.
and the quality guy who's supposed to fix this issue, that guy will record again the tasks tab and the activities tab, whatever is mentioned in the items tab.
As a coordinator, you will suggest some tasks. Okay.
Okay.
The actual person who executes it, he will enter what actual task he has done.
That is in tasks and activities tab.
Yes.
Same T code you'll use, but you'll use in tasks and activities tab.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
Okay. Then another thing, that ACT was there, no, all tasks completed. So without closing the tasks, I cannot set no cause status, is it? I cannot close the notification.
System will throw the error. The system will throw the. You test it. See, suppose if you don't close this task, system will not allow you to close overall notification.
Okay.
So that if you're not completing this,
okay, then
yeah.
The another thing, when this notification is open, I cannot do UD, no? Usage decision.
No. Notification is different, and you see notification when you will create after completion of your quality inspection. Normally, when you're doing UD the reject, then only you creating the notification. Normally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if your material is okay, then why you will create notification unnecessarily, right? Normal.
Okay.
So that's what normally after doing the results.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when we find that there is a problem with the material, that time we'll create notification.
Yes.
Then we'll fix all these issues. We'll close the notification.
Yes.
And after that, again we'll do one more time UD. Is it?
No. UD you will be able to do only once for any lot. See, you are not able to see. The problem is your lot is there. You do RR.
Okay.
You do RR. During results recording, you find defect. Okay. Now you do UD.
Okay.
Anyhow, it is rejected, right? Now, only thing is with the notification, you are going to check why it is got failed, what corrective action, what preventive action you are going to do. Anyhow, it is got rejected, right?
Okay.
Got rejected.
Okay.
If you have the stock you will be moving to blocked stock. Stock is moved to blocked stock. Now, what you are going to do with stock, that is handled through this notification. Okay. Now this blocked stock, you are going to write it off, or you are going to return to the vendor. What you are going to do, you are going to do some rework activity, that is decided in the notification.
Okay.
So that's
okay, sir. Clear.
Okay. So now we will be starting with defect recording. So what is defect recording? When you process an inspection lot, you can record the results for the inspection in the form of characteristic values or defects. So defect is any property or attribute of a material or a product or a process that does not meet the inspection characteristic specification. Defect means it is nothing but which is not meeting the specification. Okay, so you record the defects with the help of predefined defects codes maintained in the inspection catalogs. So whenever the material is failing, not meeting the specification, you can do the defect recording in the system. So that option is given in the system. Okay, so defect records can be created in the following ways: manually or automatically. So a defect record contains the information like defect type, what is a defect type, defect location, defect cause, and what corrective action you are going to take. So all those things you have it in the defect record. Okay, so normally in our QM process flow, if you see this our QM process flow, first based on some events your lot will get created. Okay, then you do sample determination, you will calculate the sample size, then you inspect it, then you do the results recording. During the results recording, if your value is not within the limits, out of limits, then you have the option of doing the defects recording. Okay, then you do the defect recording. During the defect recording, you enter all the data, defect code, defect everything, and even you can trigger a notification directly. That we will be seeing it in a minute. Okay, so this defect recording is done. After the defect recording is done, you can do the usage decision and then evaluations. But only thing is, whenever you want to do defect recording, you can do it after results recording. Okay, defect recording you can do. Okay, so based on this defect recording, you can trigger some further follow-up actions like creating a quality notification. Okay, so I'll show you how to do the defect recording. So defect recording can be done during various stages. Okay, either you can trigger it manually. Defect recording, you can trigger it manually. Okay, you go to a separate transaction. From there, you do the defect recording. One more thing is, during the results recording stage itself, you can do the defect recording. or during the usage decision itself you can do the defect recording. So defect recording can be done 3 ways: results recording with separate transaction, okay, or during the usage decision. Okay, so this is the way. Now once the defect recording is done, if you want to trigger a notification from there itself, you can trigger the notification directly instead of creating manually. Okay, now we'll see all these methods, and then we'll also see how to trigger the notification. Okay, of course this is the one creating automatically. So we'll start doing the defect recording. So let me come out of system. Might have got disconnected. What was the material? Let me log in again. Okay, so I'll take one of the material in the system. Okay, so I'll take the same material. Let us check whether it is having any inspection type or not. Then accordingly we'll start. Plant is 1000. Okay, if you go to inspection setup, so we have already activated with manual inspection type. So okay, not a problem. So let's continue. Save it. Let us check whether this is having inspection plan or not, this particular material. So let's go to QP03. Okay, if you go to the inspection plan, okay, it is already having the inspection plan. This is the operation, and if you go to the characteristics, so it is having already pH as a characteristic. Okay, so the inspection plan is also ready. So now what I will do is I'll create a manual inspection lot. I'll create a manual inspection lot, QA01. Enter. So I'm creating a lot manually. This is my material. This is the plant, and the inspection lot origin is I'm selecting as 89. 89 miscellaneous. Okay. Enter. My lot quantity is 100 liter. Enter, and I'm creating the batch. Enter. Yes. Okay, so go to specification. Enter. Okay, I'm assigning the inspection plan task. I'm assigning, and I'm calculating the sample size. Okay, sample size is calculated. Now I'm saving this lot. So now first thing is, when I'm doing the results recording, I can do the defect recording if my value is not within the limits. Okay, I can do during the results recording itself. So what you can do is, when I'm going to, I'll go to lot change mode. I'm doing the results recording. So click on the button results recording. So when I'm doing the results recording, I'm entering the value out of limits. Let's say I'll enter my pH value 16. So now this is got failed. So now during this stage itself, I can do the defect recording by clicking on this button. On top there is a button. Are you able to see operation defects? From here you can do the defect recording. So just click on the button. Report type it is asking. We'll discuss what is this report type. When we go to the configuration, we'll discuss what is a report type. Okay, so now click on the report. Select the one of the report type already available in the system. Just click on continue. So you will get the defect recording screen. Here you will enter the defect. What type of defect it is. So defect, let's say we'll enter this failure code over upper tolerance. That means my value is more than the limit, more than the upper limit. So over upper tolerance. So you enter that. Copy. Okay, it got copied. If you want to write number of defects also, if you want to write, you can write it over here, enter here, and you can write the long text over here. Okay, you can write the long text over here. And if you want to trigger a notification from here, you can trigger the notification. I'll show you that, but in the meantime, let's just do only notification creation, only do the defect recording. So but still it is activating the notification. So let me enter the priority. It is high. Okay, continue. Okay, so now I'm saving this. So this is how you do the defect recording. Okay, one type of defect recording which you can trigger from results recording itself. Now another one is you can do it manually. So what I'll do is I'll create one more lot /n QA01. I'm creating one more inspection lot for the same material. Now I'm creating it for 50 liter. Yes. Okay, inspection specification. Plan I'm assigning, inspection plan I'm assigning. Go to sample. I'm calculating the sample size. Okay, sample size calculated. Now I'm saving the lot. Okay, go to lot, inspection lot, change. Okay, so this is the lot. So now you can do through using a different transaction manually. You can do it manually. So go to logistics, go to quality management, quality inspection. Okay, defects. So here either you can do through for the lot, entire lot, or you can do it for a particular operation. If your inspection lot is having more than operation, you can do it for one more particular operation, or you can do for a particular characteristic also. So you can do it in 3 ways. So but I am doing it for lot. So select the transaction code QF11. So you go here, you enter inspection lot, select the report type, select the report type. I'll select the different report type. Okay, now enter. So now the screen has come. So here you enter the limit. Okay, so now I'll enter measurement, reading too high, copy. Okay, now you enter the code group. Defect location you can enter. Okay, measurement location, if you want to enter, you can enter over here. It is defect location QM. You can enter the location, top, bottom, or whatever it is. You can enter that. You can write some description over here. So then once you're done, from here you can activate the notification. You can create a notification from directly here. Now you save it. So this is how you do it manually. Defect recording manually. And one more thing is you can do it during the usage decision also. So I'll create one more lot. /n QA01. I'll create for 75 liter. Specifications. I'm assigning the task list. Sample size got calculated. This is your lot. Go to lot change mode. Okay, now first I'll enter the results recording. I'll enter now as 80. Okay, now I'm saving this. Okay, now I'm going to do the UD /n QA02. I'm doing the UD. When you are doing the usage decision, you can do the defect recording. Okay, here you are able to see one button is there, record defects. So from here also you can trigger. So while doing the UD, I'll enter the UD code. Rejected. Enter, and then you go for notification, defect record. Sorry, first you need to enter the so you enter the defects, and then once I enter the defect, then you do the UD. Okay, you do the UD. So basically defect recording you can trigger from 3 places. Whether you're doing the results recording, or you can trigger it manually, or during the usage decision. Ultimately you do the defect recording. Okay, so now during the defect recording you will be able to trigger the quality notification. So how to trigger is like this. So your defect is identified during the quality inspection, and you record the defects in the system, second step, and while recording the defects you can trigger the notification automatically. So that is how you do. Okay, so that option is also possible. So let us do that. So I'll show you that. So for the same lot, okay, this is the lot, right? So I'm recording the defect. Or let me put measurement only, reading too high, copy, enter. Remaining things you want to enter, you can enter. And here there is a button, are you able to see? Activate notification. You click on this button. So system will be activating the notification. So first you need to select the entry. Select this entry and then you click on the button notification. So see, now the question is from where this notification type is coming by default. Okay, so this notification type is coming by default in the inspection type. So in the inspection type you will be assigning a notification type. So if you go to the configuration again, SAP reference IMG, if you want to make it default, you can make it default. So if you go to quality management, quality inspection, inspection lot creation, maintain inspection types. If you go to the inspection type, what is our inspection type? 89. In the inspection type 89, see, there is a notification type maintained as Q2. So that is why here the notification type is coming by default Q2. If you don't maintain this, you can maintain the notification type over here manually. So you can assign the priority now itself here, or if you don't want, okay, continue and then continue. So automatically your notification will get created. Suppose if you go to QM07, I think. What is that? Wait, notification. If you go here, now you will be able to see one more notification. This one. Might be this one. 659. 75 liter, right? Quantity. So for that you will be able to see the notification. Okay, see 75 liter. Complaint quantity 75 liter. So you can create notification automatically during the defect recording itself. Okay, if you make the required settings, and from here onwards they will do the processing. Either you can trigger manually notification, or during the defect recording you can trigger it automatically. So that is what you are going to do. All the data from the lot, inspection lot number, material, batch, plant, everything got copied to the notification. Are you able to see quantity? Everything got copied over here to the notification. Okay, so this is how you will be triggering the notification during the defect recording automatically. Okay, so that is all about your notifications.